This video is going to be on mounting and dismounting the Unbroke horse for the first time, and it's also going to be on the first ride with the Unbroke horse. So we already went through the bit work, as you can see. I'm just going to practice it here a little bit more, and we have all this on our membership page on how to teach your horse how to flex and disengage the hips, plus the blanketing and saddling. So before I get started, I'm just going to go over and keep going over having her flex and disengage her hip, because the first time I get on her, which we'll see here in a little bit, that's what I'm going to ask her to do. I'm going to ask her to flex, and then I'm going to ask her to disengage her hip, and that's really important when it comes to your first ride, your second ride, or even your third ride on the Unbroke horse. This is a Mustang. She's owned by a lady named Tiffany. She just got her not too long ago. So now we're going over the bit work, which we did in the lesson before, and now we're going to go over the steps to precepts to mounting and dismounting, and then actually getting all the way on, and then what to do after we get all the way on her. So now I'm just going to make sure everything is right. I'm going to check the saddle, make sure the saddle is right before I get on. I'll recheck the girth, make sure she's snugged up, get tight enough, not too tight, but snug to where the saddle's not going to slip off or anything. And so I'm going to keep going over some things here, making sure the saddle's fine. You can see I'm snugging it up a little bit more. And then I'll get the stirrups ready, make sure the stirrups are fine. And then we'll go into the mounting and the dismounting. So I want to lower the stirrups a little bit more for me. So when I go to get on, after I get all the way on, it's going to not be a problem when I swing the leg over and put the other foot inside the stirrup when we get to that point. So before you ever start going to do your precepts to mounting, dismounting, make sure everything's correct before you do get on, or before you actually do start getting on, because you want everything correct when you do it, so that you're more comfortable in the saddle. If the stirrups are too low, it's not going to be comfortable. If the stirrups are too high, it's not going to be comfortable. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pick up one rein. I'm not going to take all the slack out of it, but I'm going to go ahead and flex her and disengage her hips a little bit more, since I just got done cinching the saddle up a little bit tighter. And when I mean snugging up a little bit tighter, it's now tight enough to where it's not gonna slide when I go to get on, but it's not overly tight to where it's like getting the horse out by any means. Alright, so I'm going to take almost all the slack out, but not all the slack out. I'm going to put one foot in the stirrup just like that, and you can see back where I'm standing. If she was to move, all I would have to do is take my foot out and disengage her hip away from me. This way she can't strike me with her front legs if she was to strike, and she can't kick me with her hind legs because I'm out of reach. So I'm going to leave my foot in there for a little bit, then I'm going to go ahead and take my foot out and pat her, tell her she's a good girl, she's doing exactly what I want her to do. So then I'll go ahead and repeat the exercise. I'm going to put my foot in and put a little bit of weight on it. And I'm just going to keep it there for a few seconds, then I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Again, I'm going to tell her she's a good girl, she's doing just fine, this is what I wanted her to do. Once she's good, really good with that, then I can put my foot back in, and here in a second I'll go ahead and hop around after I get done putting the weight in there, and make sure she's alright with that. I'll do it the next time. So I'm just going to keep doing this. You want to keep doing this until your horse is totally comfortable. Now I'm going to go ahead and hop around, and I'm going to go ahead and flex her nose towards me. That way, if she wants to move, all she's going to do is disengage her hip away from me, and all I have to do is slip my foot out of the stirrup. So she did really good there. I'm going to go ahead and pet her, tell her she's doing just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this exercise. I'm going to hop halfway around. I'm going to go ahead and flex her, and then I'm going to go halfway up in the saddle. I'm going to cross my legs like you see I'm doing there. That way if something happened, I could go ahead and immediately step down, and if she did try doing something, I would disengage her hip. So now she's all right with that side. I'm going to go in on the right side. So before I get the right side going, I need to readjust the stirrup on the right side and bring it down to where I want it. Again, you want to make sure everything's good before you ever throw a leg over them. Make sure your stirrups are at the right length, all that kind of stuff, just because that would make you more comfortable. Like I said, too low is going to be uncomfortable, too high is going to be uncomfortable. So on the right side, we're just going to go ahead and start everything all over again. I'm going to put one foot in. I'm going to wait a few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and take my foot out, tell her she's a good girl, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it again. And I'm going to go ahead and take my foot out again. So this horse is doing really good. Again, she's a 5-year-old Mustang. So this time I'm going to go ahead and hop around. And as I hop around, I'm going to flex her towards me. Again, if she was to try to move off, all she would do would disengage her hip and it wouldn't be a problem. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my foot out. And I'm going to walk back over. I'm going to pet her on the head. And I'm going to tell her she's a really good girl and she's doing a really good job. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put my foot back in the stirrup. I'm going to go ahead and hop around. I'm going to go ahead and flex her towards me. If she does really good, I'm going to go halfway up. If she does really good there, then I'm going to come halfway down. Again, I keep them flexed because if they were to move, all she's going to do is disengage her hip, which we do have a video shot of that coming up here in just a little bit. So here I'm going to put one foot in. I'm going to go ahead and flex her. I'm going to go halfway up. Then I'm going to go ahead and swing a leg over. I'm going to keep her flexed for right now. She does really well. I'm going to go ahead and just get off. And she did really well with that. That stirrup that I'm going to readjust, I believe, was a little too long. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up a notch. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to bring the stirrup up a notch. Because before I do my first ride on her, I want to make sure, again, everything is right. And I can't explain that enough, how important it is to have everything right before you actually do your first ride on the Unbroke horse. So on this side, I want to do the same thing. I want to go up and sit on her. So I'm going to go halfway around. Again, I'm going to go halfway up, and there she moves. So all she could do is disengage her hip, and then I'm going to go ahead and step down. And then I'll bring her back over. So that's why I keep them flexed, is because if something does go wrong, like they started to there, all she can do is disengage that hip. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this again. Because she needs to learn how to get on and off from both sides. And she did good there. So I'm going to go ahead and swing a leg over. And now since I'm up here and everything's right, I'm going to go ahead and start doing my first ride on her. Now our first ride is going to be flexing and disengaging the hip. Because that's what we've been doing on the ground all along. There are no surprises to the horse now. The only thing different is I'm doing this under saddle and not on the ground. But if you do all your work on the ground first, all your flexing, disengaging the hips, and other exercises, plus you do all the precepts, the mounting and dismounting correctly, this won't be a problem. And so now I'm just going to keep working with her now just for a little bit on flexing and disengaging her hip. And this is actually the mare's first ride. I'm on her and I'm moving her around. And she's doing really, really, really well with it. And it doesn't, as you can see, or as you're going to see, this doesn't need to last forever. It's only going to last a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I'm going to pet her and I'm going to tell her she had a really good ride. As time goes on, I can increase the time I'm under saddle. And I can also start going to shoulder control so I can get her start walking forward without using my legs to bump her forward. I'll just go into shoulder control, which we also have on our membership page. So that is her first ride. We all hope you're enjoying our membership page, and if there's any videos you want to see, please text us and let us know. Thank you.